Welcome to Entrepreneur Life, episode 16 with me, Joel Campbell, and I am an entrepreneur. Now, I did say I was going to do something slightly different this time round. So the idea is that I'm going to go for a wander down around the site. I'm going to see what's happening in the business on the front line, because I think one of the most important things about running a business is you understand the business you're running. It's fair to say I don't really run this business anymore. And that's the other side of why I wanted to do this, because as I exit the attraction division, I want to make sure that I still understand and I recognize and I get the pressures on the front line, the delivery aspects on the front line, but also where it's kind of gone wrong, where it works, where it doesn't. But the fun, the engagement, that kind of piece. So I've got myself my gimbal, and I'm going to go for a wander and basically see what's going on. It's going to be a bit random this episode. It's probably only going to be about 20 minutes or slightly shorter. If you're listening to it, you'll get part of it, but I would recommend jumping onto YouTube and watching it, because I think the visual aspect is going to be far better. And hopefully I won't fuck it up, and hopefully no one will get too annoyed about me recording. And we'll have a little bit of fun. We'll see how it goes. But first things first, I can't go around the site like this. If you see what I'm wearing, there we go. I can't, look at me with my gimbal. I can't go around the site like this, because ultimately I'm just wearing jeans and a top. I've got to get changed into my officer uniform. As you can see, I'm changed. Check it. Oh, that's the wrong way. Oh no. Oh no, what am I doing, Paul? As you can see, I'm changed. Here I am in my officer uniform. So my trousers, my shoes, my shirt, my tie. Somebody stole my bloody epaulets. I reckon that's damn Stacey Constantine Terry stole my epaulets. But nevertheless, it is 11:30 and I'm going to head down and see what's happening and just have a wander. Okay, so if you're new to this, you've never listened to the podcast, you've never seen the video cast before, I'm heading off around my jail. And it's because we run two different tourist attractions, one in Shrewsbury Prison, which is where I am at the moment, one in Shepton Mallet Prison in Somerset. And I believe as an entrepreneur, it's important to understand your business, what's going on. So I thought I would just wander around for about an hour, see what's going on, engage with the customers, see the tours, and just connect really with what's happening. But I wanted to do it in style. So I'm wearing my prison officer uniform. So therefore I will blend in with everything that's happening, other than the fact I'm wandering around with a giant camera. It's Jade. You all right? So I'll head on to Seawing very quickly, but I'm going to go head out for the rest. How's it going? Do you have my prison officer uniform? I'm all dressed. I'm going to take over the tours from Mick. I did warn him I was going to steal his tour today. Oh no, I get in trouble. Someone stole my epaulets, you know. Is that in her office, do you know? Right, cool. I'm not going to see it. This is quite cool. You're going to get a behind the scenes look what happens in the jail. All right. Can I come in? Yeah. I'm going to just go for a wander around the site. Is that all right? Everyone's getting like a behind the looks. Like, this is the mess that we keep. This is how we organize. This is how we run a prison. Right. No, that was the good one. It's the oh my God, look at the brand. Yeah. Okay. Enough said. Yeah, I'm going to head off and just have a quick wander and just sort of say hello to everyone. Do my thing. Someone stole my epaulets. I'm going to try and steal some back from somewhere. So everything all right? Cool. All right. I'll see you in a bit. Nothing overly exciting in that sense, but it's just nicer things in. You guys all right? You okay? It's just nice to put my head in really, I think, and just let Ellen know what I'm going to do, because otherwise it's a little bit disruptive. And yeah, you don't know how things are. Well, it's just nice to do really. I've just also had a call from Lisa, so I need to nip up and see her. You all right, guys? It's not too bad today because it's a little bit cooler. I see you've brought the real inmates with you. Back again, are we, sir? How long this time? 6 months. Oh, okay. Just TV theft. It's just the four of you in today. Didn't bring the wives. Right, no. Do you know what, the amount of times that we get people coming in and saying, can we leave our husbands or our wives or our partners or our kids? We end up just with filled cells every day. We're just sort of trying to get them out. So, but you're right. At the beginning of your day, I see you out here, I assume. Just arrived. So the next place is really into here and through reception. They might be. I think Mick is it in his tour. He's running a little bit behind now, but yeah, that's normally the place that we start. Let me just pop my head in and see if he's there. Just checking he's not strip searching again. You know what I mean? I was just ready in case the strip search was happening now. I thought I'd just pop my head in, give you a spare hand. No, you're fine, mate. You're fine, boss. I'll leave it. Your best bet is if you're heading through the governor's door just here on the left. You'll be able to see the governor's office, and actually, if you follow it around to the left, it will make your way to A wing, because he'll probably be another five minutes or so in there. And if you come back out and have a look at reception afterwards, and then you'll bypass and get in front of them. All right, no worries, at all, guys. No, the green buttons are the original general alarms. They're called, so GAs. So when officers got attacked, or they felt threatened, or actually any of the prison staff, they would hit one of those buttons and it would go off in the central room up there, basically. And then they would tell the officers. Ideally, they certainly used to come sprinting, but the average age of an officer has gone up quite considerably, so they don't run quite as fast as they used to. But that's the idea. Is the cavalry comes running basically. So we've actually turned them off because they do work, and we used to have them on the same as all the cell bells, but they're just going off all day. Like we just have the staff literally going around because everyone presses them. But yeah, that's what they were there for. No worries, guys. It's really nice just to chat to customers. It's really difficult with a camera because obviously I've got a camera in my hands. I'm just had the call, so I'm going to head up and see Lisa quickly because I need to go through some stuff with her. So I promised I would do that, and then I'm going to head back onto site, back onto A-Wing, see Mick again, go up and see what's happening with the escape rooms, might pop my head up into the axe ring, see what's happening there, head to the restaurant, I'll obviously head to the execution room, back through the visitor centre, and that really will be the journey. I'm going to try and catch the interesting bits as best as I can, so apologies if it's a bit boring, but that's prison life. Okay, I just got caught slightly to one side. I met Melissa, and then something else happened in the sales office, so I had to go and speak to them about that, just about something that happened last week. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go for a quick wander around the jail. Like I say, it's actually quite difficult to speak to people because they see that I've got a camera in my hand. They're like, oh, what's going on here? Just try and reset it all. There we go, perfect. It's quite dark in here as well because what's happened is we've had to close all the blinds, or the team will have closed all the blinds. I remember this from a few years ago because it gets so hot in here with the big Velux windows. So they've closed that, and it just helps keep it cool because obviously they're in here for tours for a little while. Let's have a quick wander. Spin it around so you can see the other side too. So if you've not seen inside prison reception, this is what it looks like. These are the holding cells. I'm not going to do too much of this, otherwise it'll just be a prison documentary video. There is some really cool graffiti, and if you come here and see it, Joe from Brassics, I can't remember his surname, Coogan, I think, but Joe from Brassic has signed up here, and you can see it just says Joe was here 2020 Brassic, and he drew just a little cock. So that was nice. And we actually get that a little bit. We get different celebrities leaving us bits of graffiti around, so you can sort of see those in different spaces. Just a little bit curious as to... Alice is here. That's why it's open. How's it going, Alice? Yeah, good. I'm just having a quick wander and filming everything. What are you up to?
Jumpsuits away.
Hey, the best job that there is putting jumpsuits away. Are they all still in sizes? Do you have to sort the sizes? So our jumpsuit store, obviously right next to reception. So for private events, people go into these. For prison break, people will go into these. Educational tours, kids go into these, and they have to go off and be washed, and then come back, and then sorted, sized, and then stacked. And Alice has got that lovely job there. I saw it was unlocked. I was like, broken into the store. So everything else all right?
Yeah.
Who's up on the escape rooms today?
Thomas.
Is he? Cool. I'm going to pop up and say hello. Did you see the comments that he had on TikTok?
Yeah, I did.
I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I won't lock her in, I promise. So yeah, I'm going to have a quick wander through. And it's those kind of jobs that happen, really, that you forget that happen all the time, day by day, just the things that happen behind the scenes to keep the business running. So I'll just head through. Oh, there goes my gimbal. Okay, so I'm about to head on to A-Wing. Let's see what that looks like. And I've managed to get past Nick's tour. He's gone upstairs. So he's already up there. You all right, guys? You escaping? Yeah. Okay. It's really quite quiet today. And that is just tourism at the moment in general. I'm going to spin the camera a sec. Now, I think Paul will probably leave that conversation that I had with that guy in, because I think those are useful things to to see. Here's HMP Craig Moore. So this was done for, I think this must have been for Time. I think that was Craig Moore. So we get all those kind of bits left from productions. I do find sometimes just wandering around this building, I have to pinch myself and remind myself that I own it. It's a bit weird still. I still say that, and sometimes I kind of get imposter syndrome to the fact of, oh, I own this place. I own a jail. It's really weird. Like I say, it probably sounds a little bit odd, but fascinating building, huge site. And when I think about how much it cost, in the reality of how much it costs, I'm just going to close the windows as well as we go around. Actually, I think I got a pretty good deal. I would have liked it to have been cheaper. I think that I can't blame the developers. I think the government should have sold me Shepton for the pound that I was offering it, because ultimately what they did was they sold it for a nominal figure to a housing developer who's put planning permission on it, and now they will sell it to me for a much higher cost. Now I can't blame them for that, but that's capitalism in its true sense. And running jails is hard, and I would say that what we do here is more than a job, which is why I think some people don't make it in our organisation, because it is more than a job. There's kind of a passion that I think you need to have to work here, partly because of our culture, but also because of what we do. And I think those that do have it really go on and have a really exciting career with us. And it is attraction, so we do see a turnover. I think those that don't get engaged in what we do in the same way either struggle a bit more or find it a bit more mundane. It's just a job, which is absolutely fine. We're happy with that. But yeah, those that really engage, I think that's true of any job. If you really truly engage in what you do and you really enjoy it, you get so much more from it. The escape rooms are happening. Let me show you. So he's just putting them into their cells, and they're going in. Tum, tum, tum. So these guys are going into the cell. There's Tom, just locking them all up at the moment. And then he's got another batch of prisoners the other side, and they're going into the hole. And we're going to go down and see those guys. Should scare them a little bit. Should have a little bit of fun with them. So these guys, the other side.
Now, any contraband elements that we want to remove, any crowbars, any lockpicks, any light-emitting objects that we want to be locked away before I put you in your cells.
He's got a phone in his pocket, boss. I saw him. He plugged it on his way in. He took it out and he's put it in his pocket. I saw him. I'll show you into one of our cells. So this is one of our escape rooms. I'm not going to show you how to do it. There's lots of different puzzles. This is quite cool. Turn it on.
The gang is coming for you.
The gang's coming for you.
I owe you a few favours, and one way or the other, you're not going to be around as much longer, are you? So, tell me where you're going to be, and I'll make sure they stay away. Keep it quiet. Just give the pipes a quick turn.
Okay, so it's one of our escape rooms, like I say, made up. And when you're locked in here, your aim is to try and escape in the 60 minutes. These guys are going into the hole. So they're going into a different escape room. and on top of that, he's about to get handcuffed. So he's off he goes into the escape room. You came to prison. There's no false pretenses here. You're going into a dark cell. It's prison. Everyone gets handcuffed here. So that last group about to go into the escape rooms. Here we go. Oh, bag one, bag two. That's it. And then in they go to our escape rooms. The hole is a pitch black escape room. It's got a number of different puzzles in there. But before you go in your a hood goes over your head, and then you're handcuffed when you go in. So it's definitely a harder escape room. I'd say it's not designed for our families as such. You can do it with older children, but it's really popular with friends, couples, groups, hens and stag do's and stuff like that. I sound like I'm on the cell, you know. I think what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go grab a coffee, say hello to the guys in the restaurant, and then pretty much call the end of my podcast because, like I say, it's just really wandering around, chatting to people, remembering what it's like, um, and yeah, being part of the business before I leave. It's almost like my last day, isn't it? It's kind of exciting. So if you've been to Shrewsbury Prison or you've seen any of my videos, you'll know this is the ghost corridor that we talk about, or we have talked about many, many times, because it is here where I was standing. Well, actually, I was pretty much where that counter is because it didn't used to be there. And what happened was I was there and people were saying they could see things behind me up in the wing. So imagine being here by yourself and then just seeing shadows and moving at the end of that door. It's pretty eerie. And then the odd noise and stuff like that. I'm just going to pop into the restaurant. Oh, it's actually relatively busy. Hello, you're right. Um, so Fred and Kate, cooking away. Sorry, I'm just doing my podcast. You just leave me to it. I'll crack on. You miss that, but they're telling you how smart I look and how much they like my outfit. It's my prison officer look. I wear it for special occasions and when I need to do tours, which doesn't happen very often anymore, thankfully. I just came down to grab a coffee, if that's okay. Please, yeah. Is that coffee cake? Nice. Coffee and hazelnut. What is it called? Is that Castle Howell? Cool. How's your day been? Yeah, I do you know what, it's yeah. I was talking about that earlier. Tourism in general is a struggle. Um, I think it is, unfortunately, we kind of are where we are in that world, and we sort of have to push our way through it. Certainly got a lot of plans coming back out of the holiday season. Because I'd say normally it would be quite consumer centric, but because I think the flower show was quite quiet as well, from what I saw, and people were saying there weren't a lot of stalls, and um, they were saying, I think the organisers did the best they could, but there's been a few things. It'll be interesting to hear what Lauren says when she gets back from Cornwall, to see how busy Cornwall was being. But I spoke to somebody from the Cornwall organisation the other day, and they were saying that it's really quiet down there. And I think other attractions have been quiet as well. So I think, it's not just us, it's across the board. And I chatted to somebody else this morning who runs a consumer-based events business, and they were just on their knees. And they're a really small company, and they were just like, nobody's buying tickets, nobody's doing experience, nobody's doing event. That's exactly it. Everyone's worried about the costs. The cost of living has really got people quite scared. So maybe I don't know. How will we manage? Oh, I don't know. We'll become a PLC and we'll be scrupulous and kind of like, put out loads of press releases that we're creating new products and stuff and just get people to invest money after money after money. And we'll all go live on a boat in, Italy somewhere. It'll be fine. No, we will adapt. We'll recognise. We already have recognised that the market's changing. So if you think back 5, 10 years potentially, the signs were there for the high street starting to struggle, and the high street hasn't even adapted properly now. Whereas we'll just adapt now. So we get it, we see it, we know it because we live and breathe it every day. We're not kind of looking at going, well, maybe tomorrow will be better. We're like, tomorrow probably won't be better. So we're going to have to make a change. But anyway, I'm going to grab my coffee and carry on my podcast. I'll see you in a bit. Thank you, Kate. This is a really popular space. I really need to learn how to use a gimbal. This is a really popular space because people get to take their mug shots here. And if you come down and do it, then the staff will even take the photo for you. So you can have the photo as a couple or as a group, whatever it is. They'll take the photo for you. So that's quite cool. I think Nick's tour must have just finished. Head out into the exercise yard. What time is it? Da, 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 da. Yeah, so it's just coming up sort of 1 o'clock. So I suppose I could head up to the staff room and have my tea or have my coffee up in the staff room because I don't really like staff drinking in front of customers. In that sense, we've got a really nice staff room. So I think I might head up there, have my coffee, and I'll continue with the rest of my podcast. So Lauren didn't have the idea. I had the idea. Very pleased I came up with it. She will claim it as hers, but don't listen to her. But created a really nice staff area with lots of changing rooms and a really good seating space and a little kitchenette and stuff like that. Those are toilets. I'm just going to head up there now, like I said, have my coffee. There's nobody here, which means I can film. So it's a really cool space. This is the main staff area. There's a little workstation over here, so people doing training and different bits like that. They just go on and do emails and stuff like that. It's a little quiet work area. They keep all the uniforms and stuff up here, lockers, changing spaces. That's the actors' green room, I believe. They've got staff officers up there, and they've got all the notices, achievements and stuff like that. There's lots happening up here. I'm going to do it like a real member of staff, basically. I'm going to take my break. I'm going to take my tie off, unbutton my shirt. The castle, I don't know if you can see it, it's just over there. So that's on my grab list. Coming for the castle. You heard it here first. But yeah, so I'm just going to take a little break. And again, it's quite cool. You can see out of the butter market, the flamingo lounge, I think, as they call it. But yeah, again, do you know what I find really interesting, I guess, is not so much that we bought the jail and the actual building, but what we've created as a business and as a workforce and as a team, and all the people are now heavily involved in that. That is what I find is really special. Okay, I've had my break, so I've had my coffee. I'm just going to drop my mug back down to the restaurant. And I guess I'll flip past the visitor centre, go say hello to the guys down there, and then see if Mick needs me to help out with the next tour, which he won't. And yeah, I'm going to head back to my office and actually back to my own job. And this has been episode 16, most random podcast ever. Thank you, Kate. Thank you. It's nice and busy down here as well, so it's lunchtime, obviously. So you always know in tourism where people are going to be based on what the time is. Firstly, based on what we're doing actually for the attractions. Do you want me to get you the bucket of tomatoes? You can throw them out, all the rotting veg. It's when we find you there in the morning. That's the real problem. So we've got pillories back here. People think they're called stocks, but they're not. Stocks are the ones that you sit in with your hands and your feet. These are pillories. So it's always just that kind of like, should we keep you in there? And we'll head up to the execution room in a sec. But yeah, you can always gauge kind of where people are going to be based on the time, based on the route of the tours, and obviously the lunches and stuff like that. Moved the gift shop the other day, so the team moved the gift shop. Laid all the merchandise out in a different way, which is cool. Loads of clothes at the moment, loads of prison clothes, all being society fashioned. And then over here, we've got all of the stuff that you'd expect for kids in terms of snap bands and bracelets and stuff like that, and loads of different bits up along here. And then they've moved the museum. So it's all in here. And then bits and pieces, all the pardon letters and such like that, which again, we've videoed before, so won't worry about that too much. Hey guys, how's it going? Just stick that there so it's on Ellen. Perfect. Right, that's it. Just leave it to it. How's it going? Do you need me to step in and do a tour? Does he not do both? Or is it because he's not well?
Well, not going to do afternoons.
Oh, okay. I'm filming my podcast. I decided to do it this way. I wanted to spend, because I'm about to leave the division. I'm retiring from attractions. Finally, I'm pleased about it, and so is everyone else. Everyone I speak to is like, "Oh, cool. Well, that's a real shame." I'm like, "Is it?" And they're like, "No." But yeah, so I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to do a podcast episode, wandering around the site, because you forget what it's like on the ground level quite quickly, quite easily. It's very, very straightforward to forget what the team have to do, and it's really easy to sit in your office. I find it, you probably don't, but I find it's very easy to sit in my office, make decisions, and forget actually what it's like to deliver that on the front line. So just what they have to deal with from phones, and the juggling of customers at varying points and the pressure points, and just going up and watching the escape rooms and getting them started. And I was just chatting to some customers on the wing about what they do work-wise and just how it's all engaged. It's just it's nice to keep connected, I think, day to day. With what's happening, and because I'm about to leave the division, I thought, what a great opportunity just to kind of do that for the last time before I leave it and bugger off. And I like to dress smart when I wander around, so I thought I'd wear my prison officer uniform. I'm not saying you're not dressed smart. I'm just saying I'm dressed exceptionally smart. Also, I'm like incognito, so I can like float about and nobody recognizes me as like Joel, the owner. People never recognize me as Joel. It happens every now and again. I'm like wandering around there. Every now and again, I wander around and someone will go, oh, I've seen you on YouTube. I'm like, have you? And they're like, yeah, I saw that video about you getting clamped in the car park. And I'm like, okay, cool. The video. I did a video. I got clamped in a car park a few years ago. And it was a big, I won't go into it now, but it was a big thing. I did a video to about 40 minutes of just me explaining what had happened. And it had been up on YouTube for about a year, and then something happened, and the YouTube algorithm just started throwing it at loads of people, and it got like 750,000 views in like 3 days. So it'd been up for a year, and like had like I don't know 1,000 views, and then all of a sudden it went to like 750,000 in 3 days. And everyone was like, I've seen you on YouTube. I was like, have you? And they're like, yeah, because your car got clamped because you didn't pay your tax. I was like, oh God, this is really bad. So yeah, so that's kind of what happens. Um, yeah, I did go into. It's not actually. I did go into mixed tour because he was in reception. He'd been in the yard for like 20 minutes. I thought, oh, that's right. He's obviously doing the reception bit in the yard, and he's just going to walk straight through. And I met four guys out in the yard, so I was just chatting to them. Um, and they were like, oh, yeah, we don't know where to go. It's like, there's a tour in there. So I put my head in, and Mick was in reception to reception. I was like, well, you spend 20 minutes outside doing, Mick? Like, come on. Literally through. So I put my head in, and then it was one of those moments, you know, when you put your head in and everyone stops and he sees you. So then the whole group turn and look at you. So they did that because I was dressed like this. I was like, oh, sorry, Mick. I just assumed that it was time for the strip search. And he was like, oh, so I've just come to give you a hand. And everyone was like, what? So I was just like, yeah, come to give you a hand with the strip searching. Um, so yeah, that was the journey. But that was it. Okay, right. I'm going to head up to the execution room. That's basically me done. I mean, that lasted for ages. What a podcast. Just me chatting to people. Interesting fact about these stairs. Not only are they original, so put in original Victorian stairs, because ones in A-Wing have been changed, but also these are the stairs where only happens to females get pushed down them. So from the top here, we do have quite a few ladies that say they get pushes and shoves and their hair being pulled and stuff like that. Only ever happens to females though. There is a story behind that. We have to go on the ghost tours to find out. Okay, let's go ahead into the execution room. Okay. So one of the rooms that obviously people like to go into, you can see, this is the actual execution drop. And this is the drop that the last 7 prisoners who were executed here at Shrewsbury, whichever way you want to say, would have gone through. This is the journey they would have taken. It's always a room of mixed emotions, mixed feeling in terms of, you know, what should happen. We've got a condemned man cell here, the window. And again, one of those questions we get asked is about, you know, have you ever seen anything? Have you experienced anything? Yes, there's lots that happens here that's very difficult to explain. This room so much I don't find as spooky, I guess, as some of the other spaces. That kitchen corridor is just like, whoa. But yeah, it's like I say, it's been nice just to wander around today, chat to people, look a little bit different. I don't know whether it makes a difference to the staff in the sense of, you know, seeing the CEO also kind of wandering around. I've not really helped. I've not done anything other than just gone around and filmed it. If I had somebody filming it for me, I'd probably be a little bit more hands-on, but I've got to hold the gimbal at the same time. So anyway, not really a lot to it. As you know, because I talk about it enough, I'm very shortly moving out of the attraction division. I spend about 85% of my time in here, not in the execution room, in the attraction division. And very shortly, I'll be spending maybe 5 to 10% of my time. I guess we'll see how that allows the businesses and the group to develop. So this has been episode 16 of Entrepreneur Life with me, Joel Campbell, and I am an entrepreneur.